we have started to work on the budget. You know, we remember that before this session was called by the governor, we had scheduled some public hearings with our budget committees to go over what some of the lists of reductions that have been put out there. We will get those back on the calendar as soon as we can. So that there are a couple of things that have to happen. We want to get more public input on the reduction list. We want to see what the federal government is doing in terms of potentially getting some extra money to state governments around the country, and see if we'll have a better sense in a couple of weeks if something is happening there. And I would anticipate that action will be taken, I would assume, end of July, maybe early August. We don't want to go much further into the second half of the biennium, because then the cuts get harder, the adjustments get harder to do. And frankly, we need to readjust the budget and get started on the next conversation for the 21-23 budget. So everything kind of goes in steps. I am very interested in hoping that the governor makes a public commitment on the K-12 budget. Next Wednesday, school districts are required on the 1st of July to have school budgets, and they really need to know where we are on the K-12 funding. I fully support a $9 billion state school fund. I support doing as much as we can with the Student Success Act that's funded by the corporate activities tax. We can't do everything that we hoped because that tax revenue is down, but we can do something. And the number one thing for me is to figure out that school budget so our students in the fall have certainty of what to expect. They've been through a lot. Districts and the students need stability. They need to know what's going on with the school budget. So hopefully we're going to have an announcement there before July 1st from the governor. Well, the governor has been very much interested in collaborating with legislative leadership to figure out what that plan is for rebalancing the budget. And I think that has also slowed down the discussion a little bit, because we have our budget people, the executive has their budget people, and we're comparing notes and coming up with a shared plan. So it's different than you would see at the beginning of a biennium. We're readjusting at this point. And the governor does, you know, it's her job to call us into special session. So we appreciate the work we're doing with her, because we're trying to figure this out together, and it's not going to be easy. I particularly want to make sure we tap some of the reserves that we have on hand. I think it's going to be a combination of one-time dollars, reserves, and some budget cuts. So we can kind of right the ship for the last year of the biennium and then get started on the next year budget.